happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I hope everything works well in terms of sounds. First of all, thank you for the talk, Lauren. That was great. I'm actually a huge fan of Lauren's podcast. What she's doing in general is great, and we met I guess it was a few months ago already at a Women in Tech Summit. So, yeah, thanks for the talk. I'm going to be speaking about digital fashion today, and the topic is WAGMI and Fashion3. WAGMI means we're all going to make it in fashion for Web3, and I'm going to take you into the metaverse and beyond. I know it's not really a Web3 thing to talk about your background because it doesn't really matter, but just a little bit about myself. I'm the co-founder of Unik Labs. We're building a fashion and lifestyle metaverse, and I have a background in fashion management, product design, and computer science for accessibility. In this quick presentation, I'm going to go over the definition of fashion for Web3, some facts on the industry that you might find interesting, fashion in the metaverse, so how can we take the whole industry and move it to the metaverse, and we're going to have some Q&A at the end. Now, you might ask yourself, why Web3 fashion? What does it even mean? Why we want to buy digital fashion? We have to get dressed physically anyways. You might have come across these words: digital identity, augmented reality fashion, digital clothes, digital NFT clothes, whatever. I'm happy to chat about all these things with you later. So I'm going to answer any questions you might have. For now, though, I want to say one thing. We have done that for the past few years. We've always expressed our identities online in different ways. And now we have the chance to do the same thing, but more immersively and in 3D. That's what I'm going to say about that. The rest of the questions I'm going to answer later. Some facts about the fashion industry and the gaming industry. Now, metaverse fashion is said to be worth $50 billion by 2030. That's going to be 10% of the whole fashion industry's revenue, according to Morgan Stanley. The game Fortnite, that I assume most of you are familiar with, is quite popular for digital fashion, in fact. Users spent around $1 billion last year on in-game skins and fashion for their avatars. Now, there's this gaming platform called Roblox. I assume many are familiar with that as well. And 1 in 5 Roblox users actually update their avatars daily in terms of looks of the actual avatars and the fashion their avatar is wearing. So it means there's a huge demand for actually switching around your personality and expressing yourself in different ways. There are around 3 billion gamers worldwide, and actually almost a bit more than 80% of Gen Z are actually playing online games. We also found that Gen Z is socializing online twice as much as they do in person. You're probably also familiar with Sims. Sims is another simulation platform where you simulate your real life, just build it more nicer, more idealistic, and you have 20 million unique Sims players worldwide. But back to fashion for now, to the fashion industry. How can we move the whole industry into the metaverse, and what do I even mean by that? One of the most important points for the fashion industry will be to take digital designers or to take fashion designers and have them create beautiful fashion for metaverse spaces. And the good thing about this industry is that everyone from anywhere in the world can become a fashion designer, as long as they have the necessary software, hardware, and internet connection, obviously. This brings us to fashion stylists. Now, with all these beautiful digital fashion pieces available, who's going to curate it for us? As we have also celebrities moving into the metaverse and into metaverse platforms, it's quite important to take their personality, same way that we do that as well, take their personality into these platforms and not miss out on that styling perspective. We will also need visual merchandisers, because when we have digital collections, we want to tell the story behind the collection. That's what visual merchandisers do also in physical stores. And there's a huge opportunity for digital influencers to take the space, and for brand partnerships. As you can see on the left side, there's Lil Michaela. She's a virtual influencer. Some of you might know her. Together with the supermodel Bella Hadid, they were shooting a campaign together for Calvin Klein. And you have also digital employees of companies like Levi on the right, who is head of innovation at LVMH. And there's one real-life example that I would like to share with you. I would suggest that whether it's your style or not, go visit Philip Lane's crypto-enabled store on Bond Street, because he is showing his fashion NFTs, some of the Roblox world that he built for his fashion brand, and he has the Museum of NFT Art on the second floor. That's it from me about the topic fashion and digital fashion. This is me and my co-founder. She couldn't make it today, unfortunately, but get in contact with us and please ask anything. We're also very happy to talk about partnerships for interior designers, fashion designers, stylists, and all the professions related to the fashion industry. And over to Q&A. What would you change about the industry as it shifts to Web3? Do you have ideas and questions? Do we actually have time for the Q&A for now?
Yes, we are going to take a couple of questions from you.
Cool.
So,
happy to answer any questions.
Who wants to follow up?
Them. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, that was a brilliant presentation. Concise, great, got the point.
Thank you.
And I think there was the word wearables. What's happened to that word? Like for fashion, NFTs?
That's a great question. So overall, I would say that when you talk about digital fashion, calling them digital wearables or digital fashion or augmented reality wearables, virtual wearables, these are all kind of interchangeably used in the space, if that makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
So it basically refers to digital fashion or any types of wearables you could have in the digital fashion sense, like accessories, hats, fashion in general, yeah.
So you can use that word still, it's not kind of...
Yeah, you can, for sure. It's very much, it's very flexible, the space overall, in terms of like what words they use to describe different things. But if you say digital wearables, then people will probably refer to digital fashion.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, any other questions? I think we have time for another one.
Hiya.
Hi.
I'm curious to know what you think about how much of the space might be taken up by sort of new Web3 brands and how much might be taken up by existing brands sort of taking up a space in the metaverse, essentially.
That's an interesting question. So you have both big brands like Gucci and Balenciaga moving into the space and building presences on like platforms like Roblox, Decentraland, Sandbox. So there's this side, and there's also the side of new fashion, like Web3 native fashion brands. There's actually a really good example that everyone should have a look at if you're interested. It's a brand by G Money, who's a huge influencer in the space, quite involved in many NFT projects, also a big investor in the space, that he launched the first Web3 native NFT brand, Web3 native luxury fashion brand. And I think there will be space for both. It's just a matter of how well prepared you are as a business to move more into that space, because people, I would say Gen Z mainly, because that's the overall group that's active in the space, they have different values than traditional customers in the fashion industry. So it's about making sure that you have the right tools to actually cater to these people and not just go in and say, I want to make some quick money from a fashion NFT collection and then disappear, because that will make your brand look really poor in people's eyes overall. Did I answer the question? Cool. Thank you.